We are recording right now. So yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. So my name is Milind Rampure, and today I'm the speaker for this session. And to welcome you all for the day two workshop for the sensors integration with Tinkercad, and also with this session you will learn about how various sensors work and how can we simulate with them, simulate with the sensors with Arduino Uno. So we'll be using the Tinkercad online platform for this. Uh, and yeah, let's start this session right now. So can anyone define me what is a sensor? Anyone can unmute themselves and anyone? A sensor or a detector, or what's the major difference between them? Anyone? You can type it in the chat as well if you have any answer. So, okay. So, what could be a sensor? I mean, even a push button can sense something, right? So, it could detect if the button, if I push the button or not. But we don't refer the push button as a sensor, but more as a detector. So, a detector is a result after a sensor processes to say something if something is or is pressed or not. Okay. I guess some. Uh, yeah, you're right, Manan. Okay, so yeah, sensor is a something which sense something. Yeah. So let me explain how the process works. Okay. So firstly, the major the difference I will be giving you the difference between the detector and a sensor. Okay. So firstly, the sensors collect the information or the data according to the surroundings or the situation. So then the information collected or the data collected to the memory device is transferred to the processing device. Now there are different kind of programs are designed to analyze the data digitally, and according to that we find out the conclusion. So now that's what a detector does. So we can say that detectors are the device which contains sensor to complete its detection process. Okay. So for example, you can say it's a a detection or smoke detector. So it has a sensor inside it which sends the smoke or the fire. Okay, and that gives triggers the alarm in the fire detector system. So that's how it works. So now when a fire or a smoke occurs, the sensor component inside them responds and the collected response of the sensor part helps to proceed for the further procedure and help in activating the alarm system. So that's how we find out there is a fire in the building or home. Okay. So the first sensor we are looking at is the ultrasonic sensor. So can anyone define what an ultrasonic wave is? What's its frequency? Anyone? Ultrasonic wave I'm asking. किसको आता है या नहीं क्या मतलब? Can anyone respond? Ultrasonic wave, what is that? Okay, so I will tell you guys that ultrasonic waves are those waves whose frequency are beyond the normal hearing limit. Okay. Uh, Continuous unrated wave, yes, you can see that. So the frequency of it is more than 20,000 hertz. That is 20 kilohertz. Okay. So ultrasonic waves are those waves whose frequencies are beyond the normal hearing limit. Okay. So here we are looking at this ultrasonic sensor in front of me, as you can see. So this sensor uses the ultrasonic waves to measure the distance between the object and the sensor. Okay. So the ultrasonic sensor works on and is the same principle as the radar system. Okay. So can anyone tell what a radar system is? They can unmute themselves and speak. Okay. Yeah, inaudible sound. Yes.
Our system is radio and ranging sound coupling system where the reflection of sound is used. If I'm
Yes.
right.
Yes. You're partly right. So it is based on the electromagnetic detection system, okay, that works by radiating electromagnetic waves and then studying the echo or the reflected back waves. So you get the distance between the object and the sensor that way. So we are talking about this ultrasonic sensor, which is HCSR04. So this sensor generates ultrasonic wave at 40 kilohertz frequency. So this ultrasonic wave travels faster than the speed of an audible sound, such that the sound of a human that a humans can hear. So also these sensors have two main components, which is the transmitter, which emits the ultrasonic wave. Okay, and it propagates till it is deflected by any object. So, and this the second component is the receiver, which encounters the sound after it has traveled to from the target. Okay, so yeah, this is how the ultrasonic sensor looks like. So here are the two cylindrical type shape, as you can see. So this model consists of a two drums like shape, one of which is the emitter. As you can see here, is my cursor visible to you guys?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So as you can see, it is a T letter is written here. So that is the transmitter side, and this is the R, which is which is the receiver side. Okay. So this module, one of which is the emitter, that is the transmitter that emits the ultrasound, which travels in the air frequency, in the air with a frequency of 40 kilohertz, and the this receiver side receives the reflected ultrasound from the object. So these emitter drum emits ultrasound when we trigger the module with the trigger pin by sending a 10 microsecond high pulse. So as soon as the ultrasound is emitted through the emitter, so the module makes the echo pin high. So this makes the echo pin high. So and it is high until like it receives any ultrasound again. So the emitted ultrasound travels forward uh, till they reflected by any object and then travel backwards. Okay. So here's the small video you're looking at. So transmitter is sending the ultrasonic waves. it is reflected by object and it is received by the receiver. Okay, so when the reflected sound is received by the receiver, the echo pin is made low. So as I told you before, the transmitter wave transmits the ultrasonic sound, and also the receiver is this receiver pin is high at that time, and when it receives the ultrasound, it switches to low. So what this sensor gives an output is the total time taken by the ultrasonic wave to travel from the transmitter of the ultrasonic sensor to the object and again from object to the receiver. So the to receiver to the receiver given by the output of the sensor. Okay. um, yes. So now we have the time taken by the ultrasound to reach the object and again reach the source, which is also equal to the duration of for which the echo pin was high. So this time it is stored in the microcontroller. Okay. And so can anyone tell like how can we calculate the speed or the distance?
The distance that we get divided by 2, like we get the entire one cycle, so we divide it by
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you. Can you speak louder?
we can divide it, the distance that we get, the total distance we get in the entire cycle,
Mm.
that the transmit and receive cycle, we divide it by 2, like
Yeah,
that.
that's right. That's totally right. Can you tell me a formula to like how can I calculate the distance here? I'm having the time and also the speed. So can anyone tell which formula to use? So the distance between the object and the sensor is calculated by a simple formula. Mr. L, one second. So yeah, which is the speed is equals to distance by time. Okay. So we calculate here the basically the distance. Okay. So the speed of ultrasonic wave in air is 340 meter per second. So as you can see, the distance is equals to speed into time, and here the time is given by the sensor itself. Like it's the output of the sensor. Okay, uh, and we just need to calculate the distance, the total distance, total in the sense the distance between the object and the receiver. Okay, so yeah, as Ria rightly said, we divided by two because we don't need to calculate the total. Like the distance we are getting here is from this transmitter to object and again from object to receiver. We just need to divide it by two so that we can get the distance between both of them. Okay, so as you can see, the speed is given by 340 meter per second, and we calculate or it convert it to the centimeter. So the calculation is very simple, guys. So you get the distance as 0.034 centimeter per microseconds. It is okay. That's you is not that's the per microsecond. And when dividing by two, you get 0.17 centimeter per microseconds. Okay, milliseconds. Sorry. And one second. So is my screen visible to you guys again?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. So this sensor is basically very popularly used in many applications where measuring a distance or sensing object is required. So this particular sensor is used in many robots, which or you can say obstacle avoiding robots, where you can like the robot deflects changes its path when any object is in front of him. So this sensors can be used there. So pathfinding robots, yes, and calculating the depth of the wells. So as the ultrasonic waves can also penetrate to water, so yeah, this can be very helpful in calculating the depth of the wells, and also in drones. So basically, if you see the DJI drones, they have multiple sensors. They have actually the sensors array, you can say, like which is mounted in the top right left part of the drone, where the drone actually senses the distance if any object is in front of him or anything like that. So yeah, the sensor is used in many other projects. So talking about this sensor type, we are looking at this HCSR04. So this the sensor basically has the range of up to 2 centimeter to 40 centimeter or 400 centimeters. That is really very good. So you can you get the accurate distance if you are looking at. And yeah, as you can see here, we have 4 pins on this sensor, which is the VCC to power on the sensor, and a ground pin. So this sensor is basically you need to power it on with the 5-volt pin, which is there on the Arduino. Okay, and here's the trigger pin and the echo pin. Okay, so we'll be seeing the connections on the Tinkercad platform. So yeah, is my screen visible to you guys?
Yes.
Okay. If you want to do this along with me, you can do that. If you, I can share the Tinkercad. Okay. This one sec. So before any designing something, you need to sign in with your account. Okay. So are you able to access that link? Can anyone respond?
Yes, it's acceptable. Like accessible.
So after you sign in, you just need to go to the circuits design. Okay. If any, you can create a new circuit here. I've created my own, so I will tinker this. After opening, you can search the Arduino Uno here itself. So you get the Arduino Uno R3 that I'm using here. Okay. And also we want the ultrasonic sensor, which is this one. This is the model we are using right now. So you can just need to drag and drop this sensor. Okay. And now we'll see the connection part of this. So as I said, we need to connect this VCC pin to the 5-volt pin here, and the ground to the ground pin. And again, this trigger pin, we have to connect this to the pin 13. Okay, which is the digital pin and UART pins actually. Okay, so and we connect this echo pin to the pin 12, D12. All right. So following with the code, I've written it already. So let me explain it line by line. The code is very simple. So first we declare the pin 13 as the trigger pin, uh, which emits the ultrasound. So we are declaring the pins for that. Its trigger pin as 13 and the echo pin as 12. And Then we set the trigger pin as the output. So we set this trigger pin as output. Can anyone tell why we are setting as the output and the echo pin as the input in the void setup? Can anyone tell why we are doing this? Okay, so Pratik gave an example, sorry, Siddharth gave an example yesterday. He was using an LED, so he connected to the pin 13, and he gave the LED as an output, not an input, because giving it that as an output is which means like the bulb, the LED is shining. Okay, so in this case, we are giving the trigger pin as output because trigger pin is emitting the sound waves. So this transmitter, as you can see, this trigger pin emits the ultrasound. So that's why we are giving it as an output pin, declaring as an output. And the echo pin receives the ultrasound. So that's why we are giving the echo pin as the input pin. Okay, one second. Yeah. So after that, we will look into the one second. So now, yeah, further we declare this duration and the distance. Okay, so the duration here is given by the sensor output itself. We will see later on where it is used. And also we declare the distance as an integer type. Okay, that's a data type in C, as you know. Okay, and in the void setup, we use the serial begin at a 9600 baud rate. That means, can anyone tell what this 9600 baud rate means? Unmute yourself. Can anyone tell the explanation for the same? Okay, so we are using this 9600 as the baud rate because it sends the data at that speed. Okay, because we are giving the output on the serial monitor here. Okay, so in the void loop, this setup part runs only once. Okay, if you know, and uh, and this void loop continues to run until any continues to run every 1 second depending on the delay we are giving it on it. Okay, so right from here we write the digital write trigger pin as low for and we give it the delay of 2 microseconds, and again we declare the trigger pin as high. So what it does, it actually emits the ultrasound at this stage. Okay, and also we are again giving it as low after a 10 microsecond delay. So what it does is basically emits the ultrasound, and also we are giving the echo pin as high during the time, and this duration that we are looking here is will become low uh, when the echo pin receives any ultrasound to it. Okay, so thus we can calculate the distance here. So we like the duration here is the time, as we saw in the formula. The duration is the output, that is the sensor output we are getting. Okay, so yeah, that's we are multiplying it with the speed we have calculated. divide by 2. Okay, so this is how we get the distance of this between the object and the sensor. So then as I said, there itself we print the distance. So we use the serial print distance from object is equals to we keep it in the string, so it gets printed on the serial monitor like this. And on the we pass this distance measurement which is saved in distance. Okay, and which is in centimeters, so we'll print like that. So here I'm giving a delay of 150. Can anyone tell what's is a second, 150 seconds, or what? Can anyone tell what it is? What delay I'm giving you? You can unmute yourself and say the answer, or type it in the chat as well. Okay. Milliseconds. Okay. Any other answer? Anyone? No, it's not a bit. What's up? So delay means we are giving it in seconds only. So 150 means milliseconds. You're right. So giving this delay uh, after every 150 millisecond, it will print the whole distance measurement. Okay, so now we will start the simulation right here. So when I press start, okay, so we are getting some error. Let's look what it is. So can anyone tell what am I missing in the code, like reading out this error
Semicolon.
online? Yeah, you're right. Where I should add?
After 13 and 12.
Yeah, that's right. So keep in mind in every line you have to add the semicolon. Okay. So now we can run. Let's see is there any error. So no, there is not. So let's open the serial monitor right here. So you're getting the distance of the object as the 37. But how can we know it's if any object is in front of the sensor? Like you just need to click this sensor, okay, once, and you will get this. You can place the object anywhere in front of that, as you can see. It's showing 249 centimeters, 270 centimeters. Okay, so what if I go beyond that? It can't read the range. Okay, it's stuck at 332 centimeters. So approximately, which it's showing the 322, 332 as well. But what if we go here? It's also not showing because the what we see the field of view of this sensor is almost what is yeah, it's 75 degrees. So beyond that you can't sense the object. Okay. Also you can see it's given in inches and also in the centimeter. We are printing it same in the serial monitor as well. Okay, so that's how we simulate our force sensor on Tinkercad. So if you guys have any doubt related to this, you can unmute yourself, or we can move forward for the next sensor. Okay. Any doubts, guys? guess there's no doubt here. So I'll stop the simulation right there. And this clear screen is like clears the output of the serial monitor. Okay. So yeah. Uh, so now moving forward with the next sensor. First, I will share some communication protocols with you guys. Okay. So किसी को पता है I2C communication protocol क्या होता है? I2C और I2C you can call it. Can anyone tell? Yeah, the next sensor we'll be looking at is based on the I2C protocol. Okay, so what is an I2C? So I2C is like is the inter-integrated circuit. Okay, the I2C is a serial communication protocol. So and I2C are used with other external components which have connected with the boards through cables, which can be connected through uh, cables. Okay, consider like mm, supply where you're connecting multiple bulbs parallelly to a single supply. So I2C bus is the same kind of bus, okay, where you connect various multiple sensors which are based on I2C protocol can be connected with us only two lines of interface. Okay, so uh, as you can see here, so this involves using of the two lines to send the and receive the data. A serial clock pin, which is the SCL pin right there, and that the Arduino master board pulses at a regular interval. Okay, and the serial data pin SDA, over which the data is sent between the two devices, between the microcontroller and the sensor. As you can see, there are multiple sensors just connected over the two lines to the microcontroller. So that's how the I2C is and protocol is. You just need to understand what the I2C will not be getting into deep. Okay. So also we can so this I2C supports devices operating at different voltage levels. What it means is like you can uh, use one sensor which is operating at 3.3 volts. Also, you can connect another sensor which is operating at 5 volt. So operating at different voltages level is not an issue here. So we can that's how we connect multiple sensors onto just two lines, which is the SDA and SCL pin. Okay. So moving forward, the sensor now we are looking at is this sensor. This is the MLX 90614 IR temperature sensor. It's the infrared temperature sensor. Okay. So this sensor is a contactless infrared digital temperature sensor. So that can use to measure the temperature of a particular object, which is ranging from -72 up to 382 degrees Celsius. So this sensor uses the IR rays to measure the temperature of the object without any physical contact and communicates to the microcontroller using I2C protocol. So here, as you can see, it has four pins. One is the VCC to power on this sensor. Okay, and the two SDA and SCL lines, as you can see here, which are connected to the pins A4 and A5 respectively. And here's the ground pin. Okay, and this is how the module looks. Okay, So now moving forward. Hmm. So this MLX sensor works on the principle of a Stephen Boltzmann law, which states that all object and living beings emit IR energy, and the intensity of this emitted IR energy will be directly proportional to the temperature of that object or the living being. Okay, so that's how this sensor gives an output to the microcontroller. It senses the higher energy intensity of the object, and which is directly proportional to the temperature. So that's how we get the temperature as an output from this sensor. So where can we use this sensor? So this particular MLX is basically high in demand right now, because as you have seen, the temperature guns to measure the body temperature on your forehead or on your palm, on your wrist. So the sensor that is used is the IR sensor itself. So the key feature is that it is a contactless sensor with high accuracy. So it can be used in industries to measure the temperature of the moving objects as well, of like a rotating shaft. So can be used at many other factories, like where you need to like uh, regulate the temperature of the machine. So uh, that's where it can be used. So due to its high accuracy, it is also used in wide range of commercial healthcare, as I told, and household appliances like room temperature, body monitoring, and temperature measurement, body temperature measurement, etc. So the specifications of this sensor are right here. So there are two versions of it, the 3 point, which operates at 3.3 volt and 5 volt versions. Okay. The sensor is the sensor I will be using is operating at 3.3 volts. Okay. The supply current is 1.5 milliamp, and it can sense the object temperature ranging from -70 to 382 centimeter 382 degrees Celsius, sorry, and also the ambient temperature, which is the surrounding temperature around the sensor. Yeah, and it has the accuracy of 0.02 degrees Celsius. Also, the field of view is around 80 degree. So the distance between an object and the sensor must be approximately around 2 centimeter to 5 centimeter. So you have to keep that close to get the accurate temperature. Okay. Uh, so yeah, I guess yes. Now we head over to the application. So as I said, industrial thermal gun and temperature measurement of any moving objects. Yes, and home office temperature control. Yeah, these are the applications of the sensor, and we will look into this diagram, like how the connection is on the FreeSync software. I will share the download link for this. It is a paid software actually, but you can use the older versions for free. I will share the link with the on mail to everyone with the feedback link attached. Okay. So for now, just keep in mind the connections of this sensor. As I said, uh, we are connecting this VCC pin to the 3.3 volts and other one to the ground. And this is the SCL pin, as you can see. That is the serial clock pin. This is the serial clock pin, which is connected to the analog pin of this Arduino Uno. So this Arduino board consists only one pair of SCL SDA pins. Okay, as you can see here, this is also SDA A4, A5. You can use these two ports or these two ports, any one of them. Okay. So I've connected SCL serial data clock pin to this A5.
simulation.
Sorry.
We can't see the simulation.
Oh, 1 second. Uh, now you are able to see.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you so much. So this is the free FreeZing software, okay, where you can design your uh, on a breadboard easily. So this is a paid software actually. So you can get your this older version of it for free, and I will share the download link soon with you guys. ये बहुत हेल्पफुल सॉफ्टवेयर है cause कोई भी लाइक सर्किट्स डिज़ाइन करना हो या रिपोर्ट में सर्किट डायग्राम्स प्रेजेंट करने होते हैं, so you can use this software to design the circuit diagram. So I'm on the breadboard side, so you can search your parts list out here, and you can drag and drop onto this. So first uh, uh, let us see the connections. So power on the board. I'm connecting the VCC pin of this sensor to the 3.3 volts to power on this sensor, and ground to ground. You can use any of this. You have two grounds available on this Arduino board. You can use any one. And here is this serial clock line of the sensor, which is connected to A5, and the serial data pin. As you can see, serial data line is connected to the pin A4. So on Arduino board, yeah, as you can see, there are two such pins, A4 and A5, which are I2C protocol based. So you can connect multiple sensors on this two pins. Just okay. I will tell you that how to interface many other sensors to it. But for now, let's study this sensor for now. Okay. And for the simulation part, the sensor is not actually available on the Tinkercad, so that's why I was giving you the connection part on this FreeZing software itself. So the software is not for simulation kind of thing, but more of designing the PCB or the schematics of the projects. Okay, so you can do that here. And now I will open 1 second. So yeah, I will. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the Arduino IDE where I will be using here. I have this. I'm using this sensor. I've bought it online. This MLX sensor. I will show 1 second. And just before that, I will explain like how to code this sensor. Okay. So for this sensor, you need to install this Arduino library, Adafruit library of this MLX sensor, which I will show you right now how to do that. Let's go to Sketch, include libraries, and manage libraries. Okay, so we'll get a list of libraries. Let's get updating itself. Okay, so we'll write here MLX. And you can see. So now the version I'm using is the Adafruit MLX 90614 library. Uh, okay, there are various other sensors by Adafruit, which is this the previous versions. Okay, with minimal low accuracy, that kind of I've already installed and selected the latest version also. Okay, so after installing this library, you can go to the file section and example. We'll scrolling down. You can see this MLX example code, Adafruit MLX library. So here's the example code for that MLX test. Same. So I'll open right here. So yeah. Uh, so let's start. This is the example code for the same. Okay. You will get many other codes for all these sensor. Like I will be not like typing and showing line by line, but I will explain you all what the code is doing and what the sensor actually uses to give the output. Okay, so the code is simple. So first we add the header file, the Adafruit MLX .h that we have downloaded with the manager. So we include here, and for the better communication with the temperature sensor. Then we add another header file, which is the wire.h for the I2C communication. So here we are added that, as we have connected to the A4 and A5, which is the based on I2C protocol pins of Arduino. We are using this wire.h header file for the same. Okay. So after that, we define the variable MLX and to call the MLX sensor. Okay, and call the function Adafruit MLX to this variable. We call this function to this variable MLX. Okay, so now in the void setup part, we this runs only one time. Okay, so we print this Adafruit serial on the serial monitor, Adafruit MLX test on the serial monitor for one time, and then we use this MLX.begin. So what it does is it initiates the sensor that to start like sensing the temperature, ambient temperature, and the object temperature. So here in the void loop, it's very simple, as you can see. Let me give it a space so it is understandable. Okay, so here the serial print, as you can see, we are printing the ambient temperature first, and then we use this MLX read ambient temperature function, which is included in the library. We use this function to print. So this function basically gets the output of the ambient temperature in Celsius. We are writing it temp C, which gives the output in Celsius. And if we write the read ambient temperature in Fahrenheit, as you can see, temp F, capital F, as you can see, that will give the output in Fahrenheit. So for now, I will comment out these lines. So now we are only getting the output in Celsius. Okay. So here, as you can see, I'm printing this line, serial print. Can you even tell what this \t does in the string? Can you even tell me? What does this \t do? Guys, so I was not able to hear you guys if someone was trying to say something. Okay, so what does this backslash t does is the gives us the space and prints this statement once again, which is this. We once again call this function read object temperature in Celsius, and serial print again degree Celsius as it is. Okay, so now can anyone tell what delay I'm giving in this code? Can anyone tell what delay I'm giving?
0.5 seconds.
Sorry.
0.5 seconds.
Uh, yeah, you're right. That's 500 milliseconds delay I'm giving here. Okay, so after every 500 milliseconds, it will print the statements and measure the sensor readings and print it on the serial monitor. So as I've connected my Arduino, I'll connect it once again. One second. Okay, so now when you go to tools, so how to select a board, as you can see, you can go to tools, onto boards manager, not a board manager, I mean, on this Arduino AVR boards. After installing this IDE, will the default boards are already installed, so just need to select that. Okay, Arduino Uno, and also I'm selecting the port. So after connecting the Arduino to my computer, you get this default port for the Arduino. It says the Arduino Uno is connected to this COM4 port. Okay, so now I'll directly click on upload. It will first compile the sketch. Okay, it's now uploading. Yeah, done uploading. So it was very quick, and opening the serial monitor is very simple. Like this, you can see it's right there on the top right corner. So yeah, clicking on this baud rate, as we have given this serial monitor to communicate on in 9600 baud rate, so you have to select right here the baud rate. It's right there, 9600. I click that, and yeah, it's printing the sensor readings already. So full screen over, and you switch on this auto scroll mode. Okay, so it's now giving the ambient temperature as 32, and the object as 32 as well. So as I'm keeping my hand in front of that, it's increasing like 33. It's going to 33 once again. Okay, so you have to keep that the object and the sensor very close, like approximately 2 centimeters, I would say, to get the accurate reading. Okay, that's the object temperature of my body. Okay, so after every 500 milliseconds, it's printing the statement. Okay, so yeah, you can play with the delay. Now it's now I've removed my hand. It's now it's 31. Okay, so any doubts till now? No, or we can move forward to the another sensor that will be simulated by Pratik on Tinkercad. We'll be using the PIR sensor. So for now, any doubts on this? So I guess there's no doubt now. So uh, so Pratik, you can start simulating the PIR sensor. You can head over with the presentation. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Milen.
Yeah. Thanks.
So let us now start with the PIR motion sensor. Uh, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
So yes, so first of all, let us see what is the working principle of PIR motion sensor. In short, basically it has two where there are special materials that are sensitive to the infrared radiation. And as we know that each and every human being and animal, they have warm bodies. Okay, so because of that warmth in our bodies, the infrared sensor detects our body radiation. Okay, so it has these two slots which is sensitive to IR, and when in a room, because of the walls and in a room, the ambient amount of radiation is normal. Okay, but as the body passes through the room or the in front or through in front of the PIR motion sensor, it detects a differential change between the two halves. Okay, so it's a positive differential change because of which we can sense that someone has been moving through the area or a person is detected. And when the warmth of the body leaves the sensing area, the reverse happens where the sensor generates a negative differential change, and these changes are pulsated in the output signal. So as you can see here, the output signal shows first a positive change and then a sudden negative change. So that's how this thing works. There is a Fresnel lens used in this PIR motion sensor, since to increase the amount of to scatter the uh, what you can say the area of the PIR motion sensor. Since if someone if since we can since the more area it will reach, the more accuracy and the more amount of data will be gathered. So basically, the pin configuration of this PIR motion sensor is the VCC. It has three pins only. One is the VCC, which can take the input voltage as plus 5 volt for the typical applications. Okay, it can range from 4.5 to 12 volts depending on the model depending upon the sensor you choose. It has a high and low digital pulse, which has high 3.3 volt when triggered when motion is detected, and digital low, that is 0 volt, when it is idle condition or no motion is detected. Okay, and it has a ground connection which connects to the ground of the circuit. The specifications of this PIR motion sensor is that it has a wide range of input, 4.5 to 12. Okay, plus 5 is the recommended thing. That is also available on the Arduino board also. So hence we use 5 volt. It has output voltage is 3.3, that is high, and low, that is 0. Uh, High is 3.3 and low is 0. It can distinguish between object movements and human movements. Okay, so as object movement, suppose if a glass or a can is displacing, or a different or a car is displacing, it can distinguish between it and the person sitting inside the car. Okay, so that is one of the what you can say application of this uh, PIR motion sensor. Okay, it covers a distance about 120 degrees and 7 meters. It has a low power consumption of 65 milliampere, and operating temperature is from -20 to +80 degrees Celsius. So the PIR motion sensor applications are such as automatic street or garage, warehouses, or garden lights. Suppose if a man is working in a garage, okay, so the lights will be on. But as he moves out of the garage, the light will get off, so that the electricity is also saved, and we can do some home automation things also using this PIR motion sensor. The another application is the burglar alarm. Like if someone is some valuables are kept in a safe, and someone is what you can say, some thieves come and take it. So the burglar alarm thing can be used. Then security cameras as motion detectors. Then in industrial automation control also it has great uses. So let us see first now the circuit design of this PIR motion sensor. So first of all, we will see the code of this. First of all, let us do the pin settings. We will join all the. So it has three. It has a signal. the signal pin will be connected to the second pin of the Arduino.
Pratik, you can zoom in. Okay, so it will be also clear.
Yeah, it is now visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
So we have connected it to the second pin of this Arduino, and the power pin will go to the power pin of breadboard, and the ground will go to the ground. Okay, so these three connections are done. Now let us connect the transmission pin. Okay, uh, the transmission pin will be now connected to the one. So this is the signal pin. This will be connected to one. Okay, so now we have a piezo buzzer here. So this piezo buzzer will be connected to the second number of pin. Okay, so now as this thing is done, now we will connect this negative pin to the side of the register. Okay, now the positive, now the register will now the register second terminal will be connected to the positive pin, and we will now interface this voltage display, where the negative will go to the negative side. Okay, and the positive will go to the signal terminal. So these are the connections that we have done now. So now let us see the code for this. So in the code we have included hashtag AVR. So what is this hashtag AVR? Actually, it's a header file that contains the other codes in current program, or the codes and definitions for the Atmel AVR microcontroller. So as you can see here, the DDR is being assigned. So the DDR basically means the direct on register for port D. This program has been written in a different form because to tell you that sometimes in for when you are going for an industrial use, you have to name the terminal as regarding the ports. Okay, for the Atmega chip. So the Atmega chip, that is a AVR Atmel series 328P. So we declare DDR as for the when the system is closed, it will be 0. Okay, the input pin will be off. Okay, hence at the output of the piezo buzzer, we will get no signal. There will be no sound in the output when while one means when the digital transmission is one. Okay, so the input pin to port D1 is high. That is, if PD1 will be high, so what we will get is the buzzer will get on, and PD2 will get 0. Else the port D1 will be uh, 1. That is, PD2 will be 1. That is, buzzer will be off. So we will see the simulation now of this. As you can see as you can see now that the object, that is the target, is outside the area of that PIR motion sensor. But as it goes in there, there will be a sudden voltage uh, start in there. But there is some connection issues. Let me check the connections once again. We have done everything okay. So this is to negative. Yeah. We aren't getting any signal. So yes, there is one issue that we haven't connected the power terminal of this Arduino to the plus and minus. So hence we aren't getting any values. So we have to stop the simulation. So hence when you do when you do your project work, so you have to see these things also that you have done all the connections properly or not. Otherwise your simulation won't work. So this connections is also done. Now the circuit is complete. So now when you start the simulation, we are getting the voltage since. See the buzzer is now buzzing. If you want to hear the sound, I will. The voltage reading also on the voltmeter is 5 volts. So hence you can see that how this PIR motion sensor works. So one more thing that I want to show here is that how to read a data sheet. Okay, so each and every sensor has their own sheets. This is the Adafruit sheet for the PIR motion sensor. So when you choose a sensor, you need to watch out its specifications, its overviews, which are mostly given in this data sheets. Okay, so whenever you choose a data sheet, whenever you choose a microcontroller or a sensor, make a habit to watch for the data sheet, because if suppose in Arduino there is no library for this PIR motion sensor, so you will have to design a PIR motion sensor, and you will have to add it in the circuit part of the uh, Tinkercad. So these are its specifications, like the size and everything, how its pins are connected, like the drain, source, and ground. It's a MOSFET type sensor. MOSFET is used, and drain, source, and ground are used here. So then the Fresnel lens thing, that is also mentioned in this data sheet. How does this takes place? How the whole working of this PIR motion sensor works? That is mentioned in this data sheet. You can read it. I will share the link of this data sheet to you in the chat section, and also I will paste the code for this PIR motion sensor so that you can refer it. So how the changing pulse time and timeout length, everything is given in this data sheet. You can refer it. So that's, and here one example code is given where the Arduino connections are done. 5 volts ground and at second number pin, and also this PIR sensor tester code is given. You can simulate it and see that you can also do this. Okay, that's it. So that's all from my side. Yes, Milind, if you want to continue. Hello.
Yes, Pratik.
So yes, if you want to continue, you can.
Yeah. So yeah, now I will give the simulation for the I2C LCD. So yesterday we seen the 1602 LCD, which is also used actually, and but now for our project we will see how the one second. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm here again on the FritZing software. Is my screen visible? Can anyone?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, thanks. So as you can see, this is the 1602 LCD screen, and it is connected with the I2C adapter here. So what it does is uh, the LCD communicates with the microcontroller only with the 4 pins now. That is the VCC, ground, the SDA, and SCL pin. So now because of this adapter, we are able to, like you know, uh, like the reduce the number of count of wires required for the connection. So before we needed one second, let me show on the screen. uh, So yeah, as you have seen yesterday, we have used this 16 port to I2C LCD, not the I2C LCD. This is the 16 pin, like the we connect to the microcontroller using the 8 pins. So we are reducing the pins actually by using this I2C LCD screen. Okay, so uh, so how this connection works? So let us see. As I told you before, you can connect multiple sensors, and with the sensors, I mean also you can connect various other I2C based sensors. That is here in this case is the LCD screen. So now we connect this A4 pin. One second. Uh, Let me change it to blue. Okay, and this to the A5. So now in breadboard, you might know connecting this wire, you can connect onto the vertical lines is connected all together. So you can connect the multiple sensors over here. So now I'll do that. So the SDA pin is connected to one second. The A4, I guess now right here, and one second, let me. SDA, yeah. So I'm connecting this SDA pin to this A4 line, and again this A5 pin of the Arduino to the SCL pin, that is the clock pin of this LCD screen. So yeah, after that we move forward this connecting this other sensor, MLX sensor, as you can see. And yeah, one more thing, this I2C LCD works on 5 volt. So powering, we are giving this 5 volt from this Arduino board itself. So it works on that, and we are powering this another sensor MLX on the 3.3 pin of the Arduino. Okay, so I've connected the 5 volt to this side of the breadboard where it's all the lines are horizontally connected. So I've connected to the ground, and as you can see, VCC is connected here to the 5 volt. So now you can hover your cursor and you can see what pin is actually, you will get to know what it is. So now we are connecting this SDA pin to the A4 pin of this Arduino right there, and the SCL pin to the A5. So now, as you can see, now, we have connected two sensors over the same A4 A5 pin of the Arduino like this. Is there any doubt, or I can proceed further? Any doubt in the connections? There is no doubt, I guess. And so I'm interfacing this LCD with the sensor. So uh, what did we do before is that we are printing the serial sensor output to the serial monitor. So what if we want to print it on the LCD? So that's how we will do that right now. So before uploading any code, I've done the same connections on my breadboard here itself on physically. I have the I2C LCD screen and MLX sensor. I will show you later on, but let us first understand that before moving forward, uh, each and every sensor, I2C based protocol sensor, has a unique address that we first need to know. So I've connected my Arduino and connections accordingly. I will connect the wire 1 second. So here's the code for the I2C scanner that says. So will not actually this is an example code for to get the address of the sensor connected. So I'll directly upload. It's compiling. Uploading right now, and yeah, done uploading. So on the serial monitor, I will once again switch over to 9600 baud rate, and yeah. So now what it says is the I2C scanner scanning found addresses too. So it has found two devices. That is one address of 0x27 and another at 05A. So which one is one? So the default value of this LCD screen I2C for I2C LCD is the default address is 0 into 0x27. So that will be using. So before you any like प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट करते हो उसके पहले अगर आपने मल्टीपल सेंसर यूज़ किया हुआ प्रोजेक्ट में तो यू कैन फर्स्ट टेस्ट इट आउट कि कौन से एड्रेस पे लाइक कौन सा सेंसर है सो now I'll get to the main code right here. 1 second. MLX I2C. Okay. So as you can see, we have declared this liquid crystal I2C LCD. So I have also defined it as the address for this, which is 0x27. Okay. So before that, for using this I2C liquid crystal, you also need to include the library for the same. Okay. So I'll also get to sketch and include library, manage libraries, and yeah, here you can search I2C. Oh, 1 second. I2C LCD. Okay, as you can see, there are various libraries by uh, let me search as an add output. Okay, One second. So yeah, as you can see, I've already installed this liquid crystal for the normal LCD display. Now this is the library we are installing right now. Yeah. So now let's close. So here is that. So now, as I said, we'll be printing this serial monitor message over to the LCD screen. So whatever we had on our serial monitor will be shown on the LCD screen. Let me explain the code now. So the code is simple, same as the MLX test, and I'm just interfacing the LCD right now. So I've added this LCD library header file right here. Okay, and can anyone tell about why I'm using this double? So what does double mean in C language? Anyone know? I'm storing the ambient temperature and object temperature as double. So why I'm doing that? Can anyone tell? Hello? You can write it on the chat as well. So I'll get to know if you're
Double values can take decimal places as well. So temperature can be in decibel. So we have taken double.
yes, you're correct, and we have given them this double temperature of object temperature and ambient temperature. Okay, so in the void setup, this will run only once. As you can see, I'm printing on the serial monitor as temperature sensor and the pin mode. Okay, so one more thing is that I didn't have a buzzer with me, so I will let you know what this does. I've connected the buzzer to the pin 8 of the Arduino, which is the output. So buzzer will sound on when the temperature is beyond 37, as you can see here. So that's what I'm defining the pin mode. So we write here LCD begin 16,2, that is 16 columns and 2 rows. Also we initialize the LCD backlight. So this will turn on the light of the LCD and also initialize the MLX sensor. So digital write, it's not needed right now. Let me cancel, yeah. On the loop function side, as you can see, I'm directly reading this, saving the temperature, object temperature and ambient temperature to this temp amp and temp object. So I'm also giving a condition here that if the temperature of the object temperature is more than 37, okay, so it will on the serial monitor it will print as a warning high temperature. And also here we are initializing the LCD clear because anything else is printed on the LCD, it will get clear and it will now print high temperature. So I have not set any cursor here, like I've did right here. So default it will go on the 00 and print it on the first row. Okay, that is the yeah, window on the first row, and giving it a delay of 50 milliseconds. Okay, and else is digital write 8 low. So I will as I said, I've connected the buzzer on pin 8 of the Arduino. So it sets the 8 pin as high. That means the buzzer is active now, and it will be an alarm system for you. And if the temperature is not more than that, it will stay low. It will stay low. Okay. So what if I need to display the current temperature as well? So now here's the thing. I clear the screen, set cursor to this 00 and says room temperature, and I pass this ambient temperature right here. Okay, so uh, this passes the sensor reading. Okay, as I have told you, this passes the sensor reading in Celsius, the ambient temperature in Celsius. And again, the second cursor on the second line, I'm printing the object temperature. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. Setting the cursor on second line and printing the object, and on the same line on the 10th column, I'm printing the object temperature reading of the sensor from this, as I have stored in this value. Okay, so I'm passing the temp object. So this temp object consists the Celsius reading of the sensor, and again also I'm printing it on the serial monitor right there. This part is all about that. So serial.print, I'm using room temperature and object temperature as it is, and I'm giving you the delay of 1 second. Okay, so after every 1 second it will print out the this loop will run after every 1 second. So it will update it on the LCD screen as well. So now let's just upload the sketch. Any doubt on this coding part? Anyone? Shall I move forward? Is the conditional part clear here? Like the if statement I've used, if and else statement. Any doubt in that? No. So yeah, I will now move on, and let's just select the board. It's selected as Arduino Uno and also selected with COM port, and let's just straight away upload. Okay, so we have got an error here. So let's see what's that. Positive was not declared. Okay, so let's comment this out. Access is denied. I am not getting this. 1 second. Is there's an issue with the library itself? Let me check. Code library manage. Come on. 110. Mm, let's try this out. See, positive is not declared. 1 second. Let me just check. 1 second. So it's now uploading. 1 second. So, something wrong. Library I've installed, I guess. Let me just check. Mm, okay. So, is there some issue with the library itself? Mm, after uploading, the screen is not actually showing any output. But if you see the screen setting the baud rate, it's reading my temperature. Okay, as you can see, so the object temperature is 33. Yeah. So I need to check what's wrong with this LCD library. I will get back to you soon regarding this. So now, I guess now we have done with the sensors part simulation also. For so yeah, before ending this session, I would like to present this project I've done and was showcased in the Deep Blue competition this season 6. So अब तक जो भी हम लोग ने सीखा है वो that was only a basic simulation and with all the sensors and on the Tinkercad. But अगर कोई IoT based project तुम्हें करना है, so you always need to like shift onto the various other microcontroller boards right there. So in this project, as you can see in the system right here, I've used the distance sensor, as you can see, the XCS 024, the LCD screen to display the status, and this MLX infrared temperature to sense the temperature, body temperature. So we were given the problem statement as to like you know uh, कि visitors का body temperature time stamp के साथ register करना है, and you need to show it in the app, and using the facial recognition you have to uh, register the person or any visitor entering the society. So that was the problem statement. So whatever is used here is the combination of both ultrasonic and distance sensor and the temperature sensor right below that. So whenever any person comes close to this sensor, distance sensor, I've kept the distance limit of to like to 10 or 20 centimeters. So when he comes closer to this system, it says place your hand close to the sensor. Now the sensor will get activated and initiated and read the body temperature of the visitor, and print it on the LCD screen right there. So after printing this data will be sent on the server side, and from the server it is printed on the application we have designed. So here's the screenshot of the same. As you can see, John has entered with the temperature of 37, and his mask is also on. So like that's how a full IoT project is showcased here. So we have used the app Flutter and C language for you know coding this whole microcontroller, and for face recognition we have used computer vision. So this is kind of like very advanced to you guys, but अगर आप basic से Arduino सीख रहे हो तो I would suggest कि like do some uh, sensor simulation kind of thing on the Arduino itself, क्योंकि ये पूरा ऑनलाइन चल रहा है तो आई गेस you physically Arduino लेना तो ऐसा possible नहीं है, but you can try it out yourself, like buying components online like that. And also this is another project I need to show. So here I've used this fingerprint sensor module. Okay, so what it does is like logs the temperature sensor data and biometric data for attendance onto the Google Sheet using Node MCU. So this is another microcontroller that's very popular. This is the Wi-Fi uh, based development board. So even if you're getting any data, you can share it on to the any website or onto the server, or you can share it on the application. So that's how an IoT project is. And here's the image of the same. I've used the MLX sensor to read the body temperature, and for the biometric data, I'm using the fingerprint sensor. So yeah, now we're at the end part of this workshop. So what I need from you guys is to get the certificates of this webinar, of this workshop. You need to submit any simulation based project on Tinkercad. It can be an individual, or you can do it on the group of two, maximum two people, like so ऐसे कोई भी simulation sensor based simulation बना दो, and you need to attach that screenshot onto the form we will be submitting, we'll be sharing you soon. So we'll also share this webinar link onto you guys with will be uploaded on the YouTube channel of our IEEE page. And also do comment or anything. If you want any doubts, I will share my number in the chat box. You can contact me. Pratik, also you can share your contact details, please.
Hello. Yes, Milind.
Yeah, you can share your contact details in the chat box. So
Yeah, yeah, sure.
if the participants have any doubts in simulation or any other thing, you can contact us. I've shared my WhatsApp number right there. Okay, and if you're simulating it on your Tinkercad, so make sure you take a screenshot of this any project you're uploading. So you can tag us the Instagram handle. You know, let me share that one second. Inst- So you will get the feedback form link on your mail. Yeah, they shared the link of the Instagram page. You can follow us there for many such events and follow us on this page and tag us uploading into your story the any project you have done. So yeah, we'll share the feedback link onto your mail guys. So register, जब भी तुम लोग ने रजिस्टर किया था जो मेल रिकॉर्ड हुआ है वही मेल पे तुम लोगों को शेयर किया जाएगा feedback form. And on that note, I guess we can conclude the session. So Pratik, anything else you want to share?
Nothing. That's it from my side also.
Yeah.
The session was.
So if you guys have any doubts regarding the same, you can contact us. And yeah, on that note, we shall end this workshop. So thank you for coming, everyone. I hope you have learned
Thank you.
the simulation also. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am just sharing the PIR motion sensors PDF on the chat box. Just refer it for your future. Yeah, it's there now.
So also the code will be shared onto your mail also. So जो मैंने अभी प्रोजेक्ट दिखाया था वो सबका कोड भी शेयर कर दूंगा मैं. You will get onto your mail. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming.